Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you. Assalamu Allah. Hotep. Peace, peace, family. No matter how you may say it, I wish you peace because peace is the actual nature of the original people. Today, family, we want to share with you on July the 3rd what's going on tomorrow. Now, tomorrow is July the 4th, and a lot of people will be barbecuing pork. They'll be barbecuing beef ribs. They'll be drinking 40s, smoking blunts, what have you. Now, sad to say, they also be busting things. And some of our people are not going to be here on July 5th because of the slave mentality. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that July 4th is actually our Black Independence Day. It's actually a holy day in the holy nation of Islam. We're going to cover a chapter from The Fall of America, published in 1973 by my leader, my teacher, and my guide, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. This man, a half original man, he had a black father and a white mother. He was what you would call a mulatto. From this man, he sparked not just the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but also Imam Wardeen Muhammad, the Honorable Brother Minister Louis Farrakhan Muhammad, the Honorable Brother Minister Silas Muhammad, Father-in-Law, Malcolm X, Sister Tanetta Muhammad, Sister Ava Muhammad, countless others. I'm talking Pan-Africans, business people, politicians, Christians, what have you, okay? So, we're going to take you back to the source, the Holy Fall of America, 1973. I'm going to share with you what Messenger Elijah Muhammad shared with us, and I'll do a little elaborating, just for clarity. This is chapter 17, by the way. It's titled Independence. Listen up, fam. Independence means to be free of the dominance of others. It is a very happy feeling for one to enjoy self-freedom. The white race in the Western Hemisphere takes this day, July 4th, 1972. This is a chapter that was taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad a year before it came in book form in 1973. So this is 1972 when he actually gave the speech on July 4th, which shows that on July 4th, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad recognized July 4th as a Nation of Islam's holy day, a day to not just commemoration, but a day to teach our people about the knowledge of self. Why? Because it was on a Friday, Jumu'ah, on July 4th, 1930, that Allah God, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, the Supreme Allah, came and began teaching our people in the wilderness of North America. Let me continue. The white race in the hemisphere takes this day, July 4th, 1972, to be a day to worship in remembrance of their achieving independence from other people. Let's pause there for a moment. Here we see the messenger explaining to us that it is axiomatic, meaning it's self-evident that President Biden, President Trump, all of them is going to celebrate July 4th tomorrow. Democrats are going to be unified with Republicans to celebrate July 4th. Why? Because July 4th represents a day for them that they became a self-sufficient, autonomous, and sovereign nation, independent of the British Crown, independent of England, independent of Europe as a whole, okay? they were doing for self. They struggled, they sacrificed, but they ultimately got their independence. And they celebrate that day. They honor their heroes and their she-rules for that particular day. Then why all the controversy when black people celebrate Jumu'ah, Friday, July 4th, 1930, when Mustafa Muhammad came and delivered to us the holy flag of Islam representing freedom, justice, and equality, and taught us the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding of ourselves, that blessed us with our lessons, that broke up the hidden mystery of God that was codified in 33 1/3 degrees amongst the Masons and was hidden by the 12 major and the 12 minor scientists of Islam, who hid the knowledge from the 12 minor scientists as well as the whole planet Earth. The 12 major scientists are the only ones who knew the universe's ultimate secret. But this man right here, Master Fard Muhammad, to whom royal praises are due forever, he made it plain. He took the lampshade off of masonry and revealed the light. He taught us a basic, fundamental principle. The black man is God. Plain and simple. The black man is God. What you talking about, brother, Mr. Ali? You mean to tell me this dude that don't have a job is God? Yes. This dude over here drinking malt liquor, this dude smoking crack, this dude shooting dope, this dude busting his gun? Yes. You cannot change the nature of the original man. Now, I want you original men to understand something. Hear me out. Listen carefully to this here. It's important. The devil has fooled you, and psychologically and theologically and politically and morally and socially and economically have made you think that you are not God. He makes you look at your flaws. But our 12 major scientists that wrote history in advance explained to us in the prophecies, the soul is willing, but the flesh is weak. In my Father's house, there are many mansions. If it was not so, I would have told you. When the people picked up this rocks, they was ready to kill him. They was going to stone this Jesus dude. And he asked them, for which one of my good works do you seek to stone me? They said, we seek not to stone you because of your good works. We seek to stone you for blasphemy, because you, being a physical mortal man, makes yourself God. And what did Jesus say? Jesus said, is it not written, talking about the Old Testament, the Torah, Psalms chapter 82 verse 6, is it not written before I was born, before Jesus was born? He's like, listen, did not your scholars, did not your holy book teach you, I have said ye are all gods, and all of you are children of the Most High God? Why are y'all praying to a mystery God to help y'all do for y'all what God said y'all must do for yourself? God blesses the child that has its own. Verily, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never changes the condition of a people until they rise up and change that condition themselves. This is the judgment, family. The judgmental. The mentality. What's on your mind, bro? What you thinking? You see? The fall of America. I'm not sitting here telling you to be happy about the fall of America. I'm not happy about the fall of America. I'm sad, disappointed about the fall of America. Why? Because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us, do not pray for the judgment. Because if you pray for the judgment, it comes to pass, it will catch many of your loved ones lagging behind. A lot of our people are still mentally dead. And we are thankful to Almighty God, Allah in person, for His Rahman Rahim, His beneficence and His love, His mercy, His compassion. We're not saved because we dry fasted, because we stopped smoking blunts, because we put the guns down, because we was holier than thou, because we dry fasted and ate 1 meal a week. No, we're saved out of grace, because that man loves us. That's why we are saved today. Let's go back to this holy fall of America in 1973. I'm going to reread this part. Independence means to be free of the dominance of others. Make sure y'all can see this here. That's okay. Independence means to be free of the dominance of others. It is a very happy feeling for one to enjoy self-freedom. The white race in the Western Hemisphere takes this day, July 4th, 1972, to be a day to worship in remembrance of their achieving independence from other people. The white race in the Western Hemisphere had to conquer the Indians, who had an independent claim on the country now called America. Here, the Honorable Elijah is not saying that the so-called Indians that was living in the wilderness of North America, the so-called Native American Indians, are the original people of this part of the land. But the message of the thing is, according to our lessons, they've been living here 16,000 years. We, as black people, like, yo, y'all deserve this. We respect y'all. North America, South America, Central America, what have you, y'all been doing y'all thing. You see? We're not trying to oppress our brothers and sisters from India. You see? When you play the so-called game of checkers, you got black Africans trying to jump over red Indians. But in the game of chess, you got blacks versus whites. It's not about hate. It's not about racism. You know, a lot of brothers and sisters in the Nation of Islam misinterpret and misunderstand the messenger's message, which will guide us through this age of mess. But look at Master Farman. Don't he look like a 100% pure white man? The scriptures teaches us in the Gospels what? That God took on the flesh of the corrupted. You see? Master Fard Muhammad's father was a pure black Muslim man that married and had sex with a pure white Jewish woman. That right there stops anti-Semitism all day long. What do you mean? God is part Muslim, 50% Muslim and 50% Jewish? See? Think about that for a moment. You mean to tell me Muslim halal food is the same as Jewish kosher food? You see? But we have Satan set the 10%, the rich, the slave makers of the poor, who teach the poor what? Teach the poor lies. They're all over the planet Earth. They're not walking around with horns on their head. They don't have a pitchfork. They don't have long tails. You see? What they have is stock portfolios. What they have is LLCs, S Corps. They have 501c3 non-stock nonprofit status. They are corporations. It's hard for us poor blacks and poor whites to understand that these rich corporations keep us divided against us so that they could continue to rule the face of the planet Earth. But social media is changing the game. It puts us in a position where, people like me that I don't have the money like that. I'm a 5%er. I'm a poor, righteous teacher who do not believe in the teachings of the 10% rich slave niggas of the poor. My job is to elevate the consciousness of the masses, the 85%, the mentally dead. But who are these 85% according to Allah and His Messenger? They are the mentally dead who are easy to lead into the wrong direction, but they're hard to lead into the right direction. What does this mean? If I was to make a video about the top 10, I'm just using this hypothetically. If I wanted to get ratings, if I wanted to get views, if you will, I would make a video titled the top 10 twerks at the BET Awards, which happened a few days ago. Me making a video showing the goddess, the beautiful black woman, shaking her behind. Yeah, she's the most beautiful, sexiest woman on the face of planet Earth. But I'm not going to exploit that. But I could if I wanted to. I could take and go on BT and, download different images showing Sexy Red and all them. I don't disrespect Sexy Red. I consider Sexy Red, in plain language, a goddess. But I understand that there are 10% rich slave makers of the poor behind the scenes that literally own the record labels, own the media, own our people. And they like, at the end of the day, you're not getting on unless we back you up, you see? But the beauty of it was, when I turned on BT, and I'm sitting there with my wife, and me and my wife been married like over 30 years. So I have no insecurity. She has no insecurity. She know me, I know her. She like, so when I'm looking at, I'm like, all these girls twerking, they're beautiful. Like they're black women are absolutely beautiful. Sexy in heaven. Not sexy as hell. Sexy as heaven. But that's not the totality of the black. I'm like, yo, where is the consciousness? Like, not just the women. I'm like, I'm looking for like BET Award. I used to watch that back, and I'm like, yo, where is the ciphers? Like, what happened to the conscious part of this thing? That's the only reason I personally was watching. I wasn't looking for twerks and, this is like, yo, this is 2024, family. Anybody can look at the internet for porn. Anybody could look at YouTube for twerking in a club or whatever. Me personally, I'm like, that's that's not what I'm about. Trying to elevate the consciousness of our people. But I was really disappointed with BT, and I know BT is no longer owned by black folks. I don't fault Mr. Johnson and his wife for selling it. Maybe me and my wife would have sold it. You know what I mean? You got to do whatever in your best interest. But the thing is that I am disappointed with is whoever are the owners of BT, they should realize that there's actually more money in pushing the positive than the negative. They looking at it temporarily. They looking at it like, oh shoot, we got Sexy Red, we got these beautiful girls twerking or whatever. We got the Usher tribute with all these different girls coming on stage, shaking that butt, this, that, and the other. It seemed like that is where the advertising and the money is at. And temporarily, I would agree from a business perspective. But me, as a humble servant of our people, I would be like, resist the devil and he'll flee from you. It's simply just not worth it, family. So let me continue with this chapter 17, independence. The white race in the Western Hemisphere had to conquer the Indians who had an independent claim on the country now called America. Then the white race in America cut off the tie of England and France and became the independent holder of the present country called America. Now, let's look at this word America. Amri. Amri basically means heavenly. Rica, like Puerto Rica. Rica basically means a port. So America basically means the heavenly port. You see? You think that heaven is on earth in a spooky sense. But there are master masons that study 33rd and 1/3 degrees of Islam, and they teach black Freemasons 32 degrees, but they tell them, oh, you're getting 33 and 1/3 degrees. But these black masons are really getting only 32 degrees. Why? Because if you take, I got some ice in this cup. If I was to make some ice, if I take some water and I let it vibrate slowly in a freezer, it would turn from a liquid into a solid clump of ice at 32 degrees. In the Mason and Shriner order, the Shriners is just more overt in studying the Holy Quran and having holy names. Like you'll see Shriners, they be like, my name is Malik. My name is Maliki. My name is Abdullah. You know what I mean? But the ones that don't know, they stay with the Christian names, slave names. But what do your Bible teach you? Your Bible teaches you that a good name is better than fine gold. Okay? So these Master Masons, they hide the reality. It's like me putting a lampshade on the light. You see? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad comes to make manifest the pure light. He's not giving us 33 and 1/3 degrees like others. He's not even giving us 120 degrees like others. He's giving us what? 360 degrees of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Why? Because the earth elliptically is 360 degrees. The star is 360 degrees. Our moon is 360 degrees. Your blood cells is 360 degrees. Your sperm, your egg is 360 degrees. Your mouth is 360 degrees. The nares, the holes in your nose is 360 degrees. Your eyes are 360 degrees. Your head is 360 degrees. Your body, an arm, a leg, an arm, a head, a leg, a head is 360 degrees. It's the star. This is your body right here, family. Your head, your arm, your leg. What is the distance from this point to this point in mathematics? Why I say mathematics? Mathematics is Islam. Islam is mathematics. I live in Coatesville, Pennsylvania. I just happen to, do some networking today, and sad to say, in Chester County, Coatesville High School only 19% of the students, when they graduate, are proficient in mathematics. Only 33%, or 1/3 of them, is proficient in reading and writing. So they literally have a system where, according to mathematics, they give the school principal, the ones in charge, they give them a C minus. I live in this county. I moved to this county. I'm originally from Philadelphia, but I live out here in Chester County. Good city. I like this city. I respect this city. One of the unique things about Chester County is, unlike from where I'm from North. I'm originally from North Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and the belly of the beast. Where I'm from, everything is segregated. Like the rich white, like if you want a good school, you gotta go to the Northeast. You see, I went to Gillespie Junior High School. Our books was like 10, 20 years old. We had old information. You know, I got kicked out of Philadelphia. I went to a predominantly international school called Alany High School. You know, shout out to Brother Earl. I mean, Brother Earl was my partner in crime, long story short. But we was on the gymnastic team. You know what I mean? You know, so, you know, we went to a school where white people was like, you N's cannot come to school unless you throw 5 cents up here on this bridge. They took paint and painted 5 cents on the train track bridge. Meaning what? Keep in mind, I'm from North Philly, so this is like all new to me. I'm walking to school, and they up on the bridge like, yo, what is you doing? I'm like, what? They like, you gotta throw 5 cents up here to walk under the bridge. I'm confused. Like, you know, this girl I was hollering at, she used to it, so she's like, Ace, listen, just throw 5 cents up there. Here's a dime. Just throw the dime up there so that we both could get a pass. I'm confused. Like, she giving me, the girl wouldn't even talk to me, but now she's talking to me, giving me 10 cents, telling me to throw 10 cents up on this bridge. I'm like, throw 10 cents up there for what? She said, if you go to school and you don't pay 5 cents, they're going to hit you with train track rocks, these big giant rocks. Now, those that know me, my crew, Ace Money. I was Ace Money, and I had what they call 40 Thieves down North Philly. Now, I mean, shout out to Tracy Smith, you know, one of my homies on the block, 12th and Nedro. Now, I mean, you know, shout out to his cousin Tone. We all got jammed up together. You know what I mean? And long story short, the devils tried to physically get rid of us by letting the train run us over. And I wasn't going for it. You know what I mean? And, you know, we had a little battle. And we're throwing rocks at each other. They throwing rocks at us, we throwing rocks at them. My rock happened to hit this 10% in the mouth. Knock all his teeth out. Boom. His parents cased us all up. All right. But we happen to have a black judge in the juvenile system. And, you know, I was like, yo, like, listen, yeah, he trying to hit me. I'm trying to hit him. He ducks. I'll wait. He come up, but I already loose the joint. He get caught. It's all in the struggle, all in the ghetto. You know what I mean? But they give us probation, whatever, but the family's trying to sue us for oral surgery and all this other nonsense. You know what I mean? But that family had money. So that thing was like, we're going to make his life a living hell. I went through that. You know what I mean? And if it was not for this man and this man, I don't know where I would be today. But I believed in the law of God who came in the person of Master Father Muhammad, to more praises due forever, and his first, last, and only messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. So when we read about Independence Day, I don't take it from my perspective I take it from the messenger's perspective. And for 40 years, I have shared with y'all that only the messenger's message can guide us, not me, not you, but guide us through this age of bless. Let us go on. The messenger says, the white race was not satisfied with owning a new country to itself. They wanted the country built up, but the white man was afraid to trust himself to build the country up. So he goes to other countries that were civilized and uncivilized. From Africa, he took our black people as slaves and used us for hard labor purposes. Now, the white race have achieved those desires, and now he has the glorious thing that man can enjoy, freedom. The country of America cannot be said to be the white man's own, but with having the freedom and the power to overcome the natives, meaning the Indians, of this country, the white race in America takes this day, July 4th, to celebrate the joy of independence of others. Think that over for a moment. I mean, think about that for a moment. Imagine the Native American Indians celebrating a day of independence from white colonization. They will be looked at as radicals, as the T's, as everything anti-establishment. Imagine the black prisoners of war from Africa and other places celebrating their own black independence from tyranny, oppression, colonization. Those that tried to exploit them and look at, oh, y'all can't, this is not a whole, this is a hellish day because y'all didn't let us exploit y'all. Y'all didn't let us rape, rob, and murder y'all. You see? The messenger goes on to say, now the white race has achieved those desires, and now he has the glorious things that man can enjoy. Freedom. The country of America cannot be said to be the white man's own, but with having the freedom and the power to overcome the natives, meaning Indians of this country, the white race in America takes this day, July 4th, to celebrate the joy of independence of others. The messenger goes on, this quote, as thou hast done, so shall it be done unto thee. Someone is about to take away your enjoyable independence. The white race here in America has done the worst to the black people who helped the white man to build up the country of America and to make it suitable and to bring in this enjoyable independence. Now, I want y'all to understand, when we talk about the jargon of the Holy Nation Islam, it's not personal. It's spiritual science. It's political. It's theological. It's historical. It's factual. What we're simply looking at here is we're not ignoring the fact that some Native American Indians helped the white colonizers exploit and destroy their own people. We're not ignoring the fact that some Africans, you had what Malcolm X called the house slave and the field slave. We understand that house slave mentality. We understand that some of our brothers and sisters in Africa actually aided and abetted the colonizers and enslaving us. But don't let these devils fool you. I mean, don't let these devils trick you. Let's look at this for a moment. You'll hear, especially on social media, that Africans participated in the slave trade. Technically, that's kind of true, but that's not the truth. See, it's like before the Europeans came, Africans was divided against Africans. Yes, the people of Kemet went to war with the people of Nubia, the Hittites, the Persianites, the Canaan. Like you always had divide and conquer on the planet. You always had people that were struggling for resources, you see? But our concept of prisoners of war, of slavery, was not chattel slavery. See, when you read your Bible, you're like, well, the Bible teaches us that Joseph was a slave under Pharaoh. Yes, but remember, when Joseph got out of prison, his wisdom helped Pharaoh, and Pharaoh made Joseph his right-hand man. It's like the president making a slave the vice president. You see? You're not going to see that in America with white slave masters and black slaves. The black slave is not going to be the vice president of the United States. Not only is not going to be the vice president, he's not going to be able to vote. She's not going to be able to. Even white woman is not going to be able to vote. All right? So there's a huge difference. Now, I mean, but our story is structured in such a mathematical way that it reveals that our people in the wilderness of North America, if you had a son or a daughter, your son or daughter was born a slave. If they had a son or daughter, your grandchildren would be born slaves. So in America, it's different. We had what they call chattel slavery. Other nations didn't practice chattel slavery. People be like, well, the Jews, they was enslaved under Hitler. They suffered all over the planet. True indeed. No disrespect to the Jews. But what's the difference? The Jews knew they were Jews. The Jews knew Yahweh. The Jews then and the Jews in 2024 have Jewish names. They did not lose their nationality. They did not lose their religion, their spiritual sciences, their culture, their way of living. The way of dressing, their scriptures. It's totally different. Where you have chattel slavery, and at the end of that, black people's like, we're Negroes, we're colored, we're black. Where is this country called Negro? Where is the colored flag? Where is the black God? You see, chattel slavery literally robbed us of us. So our ancestors, Frederick Douglass and others, they wanted us to understand July 4th ain't about eating watermelon and barbecuing pork ribs and drinking a 40 and smoking a blunt. Much more than that. You see? Frederick Douglass wanted, whose independence? See what I'm saying? Why was black people in America celebrating July 4th? We traditionally celebrate July 4th because the white man gave us a day off from slavery. We're like, let me get this straight. We ain't got to pick no cotton today, boss. We just could drink a shot of whiskey. We could drink a beer. We could barbecue and chill and relax with our she folks, our goddesses. We ain't got to worry about our kids being sold to another plantation. We ain't got to worry about being whipped. Oh, this is absolutely a holy day for black folks in the wilderness of North America. You see? So I can't fault our ancestors. I mean, it's like they was making the best out of a bad situation. Much like we're doing right now in 2024. You see? But Denmark Vesey, the Maroons. You had other slaves that was like trying to elevate the consciousness of our people. In 2024, you have brothers and sisters that's trying to elevate the consciousness of our people. The struggle continues, family. You see? So let's look at this. The messenger goes on to say, as thou hast done, so shall it be done unto thee. Someone is about to take away your enjoyable independence. The white race here in America has done the worst to the black people who helped the white man to build up the country of America and to make it suitable and to bring in this enjoyable independence. But the white race in America has angered God due to the evil done to us after our 400 years. Here, under the white race still desires to mistreat and to kill us all the day long. The white man hates his black slave, while the black slave should be hating the white man for mistreating the black slave. But the white man made the black slave to love him so well that when the white man mistreats him, the black slave will not dislike the white man for mistreating him. Now, I don't want you confused thinking like Elijah Muhammad teaches hate. The messengers was asked that specific question. Mr. Muhammad, do you teach hate? His answer was real clear. No. He's like, what do you teach? I teach truth. Now, you may hate the truth that I teach. It's not personal. Like we're not like, oh, we're anti-white folks. I don't run around like talking about devils and crackers, and that's disrespect. That's immature. Know what I mean? But I'm not going to bite my tongue. Like the devil's the devil regardless of place or time. You see? Meaning what? Meaning the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, as I said, Master Farah Muhammad's father married a white woman. So we know the message teaches us that his mother was a righteous woman. You see? Meaning that there are some white people who are Muslims by faith and not by nature. The messenger says this in his last book, 1974, Our Savior's Right. You can get the book 1974, Our Savior. You'll see it's a chapter on it. A few white Muslims are Muslims by faith, though not by nature. You see? Meaning that he teaches us that the worst devil is the black devil. You see? Meaning that by nature, we're made to be righteous. But when we think like the mother folks, oh my goodness. We become, as the messenger said, quote, 7 times more the child of hell than the devil himself. Why? We have 7 mind dimensions, family. We're born with a 7.5 ounce brain with 14 billion brain cells. Each brain cell or neuron generates a power equal to 1/70,000 of a volt of electricity. Our thoughts travel quicker than light. Our light travels 186,000 miles per second, according to the white man Einstein. No. Thoughts travel 24 billion miles per second, according to Master Farah Muhammad in the Problem Book. You see? So, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is not teaching us hatred or racism. He's teaching us about nature. It's not personal when you jump in the ocean and you look at the sea creatures and you be like, is it hate for the shark to eat a tuna? That's not. That's just the way the universe operates. It's not hatred for a white bird not to allow a black crow or a black raven to build a nest in his neighborhood. He'd be like, yo, this black bird ain't building a nest over here. He'd be like, and that red robin ain't building no nest over here. He'd be like, well, who's going to build a nest in your hood? Other white seagulls, other white swallows, other white doves, because that's the nature of the universe. You see, the lion is not going to allow tigers or wolves to come amongst his family. That's just not nature. It's not personal. Strictly business, family. Strictly business. And this is hard for us to really wrap our temporary programmed YouTube, Instagram, Facebook brains around, if you will, because they programming us with all kind of nonsense. They tricking us to think that the unnatural is natural, that which is unreal is real. That God is the devil and the devil is the God. That the angels are the demons and the demons are the angels. And we take this trickology hook, line, and sinker. You see? But I know in the future, the devil's going to shut this internet stuff down. See, the internet's going to become structured where you're not going to waste your time coming on it, because it's so much pseudoscience being taught. It's so much trick knowledge, a mixture of tricks with real knowledge. You ain't going to be able to tell what's true, what's false. You'll be like, yo, is that fake news? Is that AI? Is that artificially intelligence generated? Like, you won't know what to believe. And that's going to make you shy away from the whole thing. The bad part is you're going to miss those that are teaching you the truth. And this is part of the plot and plan of the devil. But I'm not worried, because the Holy Quran, the Kitab, teaches us that Satan plans and the law also plans. But the law is the best of planners. So even though they think that technology going to work, I admit it absolutely is going to work temporarily. It absolutely going to make you look at me as being your enemy. It absolutely going to make you think that I don't know what I'm talking about. But down the line, I might get killed. I might not be here physically, but it's going to dawn on you then. When you really look at the mathematics, the spiritual science, you're going to like, yo, this brother really was who he said he was. You see? But I love you so much, I'm willing to sacrifice. I ain't worrying about it. I mean, that's all in the struggle. You see? You know, the Elijah Muhammad teaches us that our life and our death and our sacrifice is all for Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not talking about some magical fairy dust up in space somewhere. We're talking about our people. This is what I live. I live for the struggle of our people being able to manifest their own destiny on the face of this planet, covering 196,940,000 square miles. Let me read some more of this Fall of America, 1973. The message says, but the white race in America has angered God due to the evil done to us after our 400 years here under the white race. The white race still desires to mistreat and kill us all the day long. The white man hates his black slave, while the black slave should be hating the white man for mistreating the black slave. But the white man made the black slave to love him so well that when the white man mistreats him, the black slave will not dislike the white man for mistreating him. You'd be like, that's actually, like, hold on. Why would, if the devil didn't treat us right, why would we think he's going to teach us right? See, you got to understand pimping. You got to understand big pimping. I mean, see, in pimping, when a pimp misuses a woman, disrespects a woman, harms that woman, psychologically, she can do one or two things: fight or flight. Sad to say, most women will try to prove to this beast that she loves him and she's worthy of his love. So, you know, you'll see the pimp doing his thing, you know, stomping the sister in the street, you know. I remember when I was like 15 years old, I physically witnessed this bumnut dude beating this beautiful black woman. You know, I lived on 12th Street. It was like a block down from my house, and I'm going to work at the time. You know, I was a young man. I used to work at J&B Variety Store down 12th and Nidro on 13th and Parkside Avenue. And I'm walking down 13th Street going to the store. You had Mr. Johnson's store. We had 12th Street store across the street from my house. Then we had Mr. Johnson's store, a good Christian preacher. He had a variety store in between us. And on the other end of the block, we had my old head Yaya, a Muslim, Johnny Bird, you know what I mean, who had his second store on 13th Street. So I'm in between the block. I'm like at the eye doctor place, you know, basically in the middle of the block. And I see this boy beating this beautiful, beautiful. I mean, when black women are goddesses. This is I used to work at the store. I used to be like, my job, I was only like 14, but I'm giving out the candy and all that kind of stuff, getting canned goods for the seniors, whatever. My old head is working the cash register. So we had different people working the store, you know, at the time. You know, we had Sam, we had the other old head, we had Mr. Harvey, Yaya's war veteran partner and stuff like that. Sometimes Yaya himself, sometimes his wife, Miss Helena, a Jehovah's Witness, you know. So I'm doing my job over here, and I see this fool beating his sister. And something in my nature was like spark. Keep in mind, I'm only like 14, 15. This dude is like 22, something like that. Long story short, I mangles him. When I mangle him, I'm like, you know what I mean, in my thing, but it's like, I feel somebody like jump on. I'm thinking like his homie's like trying to help him. Like, ooh, it's the girl that he was beating attacking me. Like, get off on me. I'm like, yo, what is, he gave you a black eye. He busted. But that's the mentality. You see, they want to prove to their oppressor that they're worthy of their love. Sad to say. So the messenger goes on to explain to us, now the time of God has arrived. The time that Allah God must separate the black slave and his white slave master and bring freedom to the black slave. So we see the power of our enemy being broken by God and destroying the power of the white man, power to maintain his sway over the world. Independence is fine if we can keep and maintain independence. But there's a dark cloud of trouble now swinging over the country of America. The dark cloud makes a once freedom of thought and action become instead a freedom of death, hell, and destruction. It is awful to think over the things of evil and of trouble that are coming upon the glorified North America. The poor black slave, numbering now into tens of millions of black people. Pardon me, fam. Let me just lay this like that. Of black people never knew anything of the joy of freedom because the vicious enemy, like a young lion, as Daniel gives it in the Bible, has made the black slave a prey to all of the white man's wicked desires. Now, what do we have to celebrate in the fact that the white man is enjoying freedom over us? In celebrating the white man's independence, we make a fool out of ourselves. We cannot celebrate his day. The only time that we, the black people, have a day to worship and are able to call a day our day of freedom is when we are free from white America and free from any other nation and become independent with some of this earth that we can call our own. Then we can say that this is a freedom day and a holiday for us. Black sisters, black brothers, let us unite and get together and try and go from that which binds us to others. The Fall of America, 1973, by the first, last, and only messenger of Allah, God Sakim. That's in person. the master, Fard Muhammad. Thank you for listening. As I leave you in peace, Assalamu alaikum. Peace to the gods, peace to the goddesses. The struggle continues.